Welcome everybody back to Boost Emotion, guys, and today we're gonna talk about it. I am upset. I am pissed off. I am freaking annoyed. Right? We have a snitch. We have a freaking snitch, and he's going around trying to cost everybody money, and I'm taking this personal. So, guys, if you're part of the Boost Emotion family, watch this video in its full entirety. We're gonna cite this video from Vice. If you guys know the Vice YouTube company, they actually sat down with this snitch and he let us know why he's snitching. And I think snitches should get stitches, to be quite honest with you. So, guys, definitely watch this video. If you're new to the Boost Emotion channel, you may enjoy this energy, but I'm a car enthusiast, I'm a Nissan Infiniti enthusiast, and I report the news. But this one sits a little differently with me. So the video actually comes from Vice, but Jalopnik article dropped it. So please watch this video in its full entirety because we will go to Vice video and we'll break it down as it goes, okay? Cool. So this guy that's happy and smiling about getting people's tickets, right? This traffic narc is one-man army fighting in New York City. Traffic cameras, be speed cameras or red light cameras, suck if you're in the habit of speeding or not coming to a full stop when it comes to a red light. But there's also a pretty good deterrent for people who would otherwise be doing things like that. I get it. I get the idea. They look at the statistic of, all right, to how we, for a specific year during the whatever nonsense that happened, right? The people who were killed in traffic accidents, the cars had ghost plates or temporary plates, or the plates were obscured. So technically, those people were kind of breaking the law, and because of that, they started pushing it more, saying, hey, we need to try to get rid of these ghost cars because if they commit a crime or hurt somebody, we can't catch them because AI is everywhere and AI can't pick up on a leaf in front of it. Cool. So that's the way that they actually start pushing more of the speed cameras. That's why we have speed cameras all across. But it was proven in other states who tried to implement this that this is actually unconstitutional because the person observing, which will be a police officer, is supposed to observe you speeding, clock you, and then thus there's a certain statute and certain type of rules and regulations that go with that. But New York City isn't following that because New York State doesn't really have to follow because they don't care. They're more on the blue side. I could go deeper into this part, but I want to get more into the article. Sorry, guys. So, so this guy Gersh, who rides around on his bicycle. And he looks for people who have plates that are hidden, obscured, damaged, and makes corrections because it makes his D really hard that he does this. He enjoys this nonsense. So I'm going to just jump into the video and all right, let's go.
Has turned that into his thing. He's looking because he's a snitch.
He's a snitch.
Hey, we got our first catch of the day. We got a guy who likes to cover his plate in the back and in the front.
Huntsman's an editor for a blog about making New York streets safer for bikers and pedestrians.
You see right there? That's it right there. That's it right there. You see what he's a bicyclist. One of the biggest words that I think that exists is between bicyclists and drivers. I'm a bicyclist. I ride electric moped, and I'm a driver. And I believe people that don't know how to drive or not drivers are never going to understand how it is to be a driver and vice versa. They think because they're a good driver and they care about others that they care about others because they believe they're good bicyclists, that every other bicyclist is just as good as them. And the same thing for drivers. They think that they're a good driver, that every other driver is good, but that's not necessarily the case. We know there's a lot of terrible drivers out there. And it's hard for us to be in an area such as New York City where there's so much congestion that you give so much rules and regulations to bicyclists. I am a bicyclist. We get rules and regulations for us. But sometimes it just doesn't make sense because you make places even more congested and it's hard to move 8 million people around where in some of these city streets where technically you're never supposed to have 8 million cars. Plus, you get what I'm saying? The infrastructure is out of date. And taking away parking spots, taking away certain roads you could drive down, not even modulating or correcting the traffic patterns of the lights, which is an easy fix. It may be extensive, but if you do it, you can make this a better place for bicyclists and car drivers to drive on. But no, they're not making the fixes. But anyway, that's just me being pissed off New Yorker. But let's continue.
But he takes that a step further in his spare time by personally documenting drivers with illegal plates.
See?
It's become a bit of an obsession.
Wow. Yo, did dude just pull out someone's flip-out plate on a BMW? Yo, dude really pulled out someone's flip-out plate.
We saw him a while ago. We used to call him Leaf Man, of course, because he's got the leaf in his
No, there's no way.
He even made up his own theme song.
Cops call it criminal mischief.
Yo.
They'll charge you in the 4th degree.
Yo, he's a loser. Freaking loser. Now, let's go quickly to this part. Let's see.
You're on top or whatever, so but this is actually illegal. Now,
So he bought this somewhere, like online or something?
yeah,
by
you
the
get him
police
online.
or the fire
Sorry
station.
about that. Should tell your pal he's going to get a ticket. Not from me. Not from me. Yeah, it's like
See, so he went to a fire station, and those plates are the ones that obscure it. If you stand behind, you can see the numbers, but when it's more veered to the side from the cameras, they won't show up. And technically, that is illegal because if a traffic agent or a cop is walking or driving, they can actually give a ticket because you put something to cover the plate and obscure it, technically. So I would say that is illegal. But a leaf falling down and getting stuck in your plate is kind of that gray area. Or the license plate getting damaged or to some kind can happen. That's a little bit different. You know, you don't want to give people a ticket because a license plate is damaged. Just trying to get a new license plate could take forever. I could give you a ticket every day for your damaged license plate. It could take up to 6 weeks to get a new license plate. This guy's a freaking loser. So, there's more here. This part right here, look.
car. I'm thinking that this is someone who feels like I've already paid my share, and these speed camera tickets are unfair. They're just the government is trying to make revenue.
It's true that the city could be making a lot of money off these drivers.
Wait.
Parking permit. They're all just a bunch of assholes.
Who are the biggest
Wait, this is the part we
No,
missed
generally
here.
speaking.
He uses to just
Wait, I want this part
No,
here.
generally speaking, if you bike around in the city of New York a lot, as I do,
I do too.
you feel like every car driver's in on some sort of scam, whether it's a covered plate
Okay.
or an illegal parking
No,
permit.
it's not true.
They're all just a bunch of assholes.
You see, and this is why people like him should just. I hate people like him that exist. How do you think everybody is just a bunch of assholes and you're a bicyclist and you bicycle everywhere? I do both of it. That's not the case. Man, the entitlement of some people is just ridiculous. Now, I do want to fast forward to another part here where, oh my God, he's such a loser for it. I'm going to give you my commentary after.
who've made this mission their whole
Remember fair use, vice, fair use.
social
You're gonna
media
try it.
personality.
I've run this guy's plate. He's got 13 parking tickets dating back to 2020, all
Okay.
in Brooklyn, all around this spot.
Okay.
All you have to do is go over and fix it.
Okay.
Just put the 4 back in there. And now this car will get all the tickets it deserves.
This
Loser. But watch this part here.
DIY approach wasn't a big hit with the NYPD.
Mm-hmm.
In November, police arrested a lawyer for tampering with an obscured plate
See?
and charged him with criminal mischief.
See?
That charge was ultimately dropped, but the incident lit a fire under Kuntzman and his fellow license plate
You don't know
hounds.
what this is.
Why do you care so much?
I care because
Why?
the roads are public space, right?
Okay.
And if the public space, the most basic form of public space
Okay.
is chaotic, it affects your whole appreciation for the city. Like you feel like, wow, this city is out of control. That's the term they always use. It's out of control.
What?
The NYPD's safety efforts have ramped
What does that even mean? So he's saying that because someone's license plate is obscured, it affects his life and his well-being, and it changes the aura of New York City. So he feels like he's the Batman to fix an obscure license plate. The freaking entitlement. Like, I don't even. Let's go to his night one. This guy has on a face mask. And then I'm gonna give you guys my last commentary.
Got to a point where I was paying around like $1,000 worth of tickets weekly. Not even on purpose. They're all, if you're going 36 miles per hour. I looked into it and I realized like, hey, I can make money with this.
Okay, so will you show us how it works?
Yeah, sure. So let's click of a button, it flips.
Oh,
That's
no.
about
So
it.
what is this? This is a fake plate? Or
This
this
is
a
a
real
ghost tag.
plate?
Vans,
from-
no.
This is a ghost tag. These are both actually ghost tags.
So
These
what does
are-
that mean? It means there's no car associated
They're not
with it.
they've never been registered to any vehicle.
See.
So if a cop looks us up, their screen will be blink.
What is the demand for this kind of stuff?
The demand is pretty high, believe
Yo,
it or not.
it is.
You know, especially with them turning on the cameras 24/7
Yep.
and tolls going up.
Yep.
Prices of everything
Completely
going
agree.
up. Demand is pretty high. I'm getting orders.
I completely agree. I living in Brooklyn, New York. Not saying I have any of these devices on my car. I never had it. But what I would sit there and say is I see a lot more tampered plates now. I see a lot more plates that have covers. I see a lot more hideaway plates. I see a lot more flip plates like this. I see a lot more James Bond plates. People are purchasing these things and using them. And people get annoyed. People get upset. There's certain spaces and places where I'm going to end the video on this part right here. And this is going to be my commentary part because I see why people have an issue, right? I see where that people don't like the fact that some people are out here breaking the rules, breaking the laws, and not paying their fair share. I see it. If you just don't go 36 miles an hour. I agree. I completely agree. Even when I drive my car, I don't want to get tickets, so I go 34, 35 miles an hour. I get it, right? People don't want to give away free money, right? But I will also sit there and say this, though, right? I think there's also, I'm going to be fair when I say it, be very clear. I think there's also the idea that, as they said earlier, it's a money grab. And it really is a money grab. Just like the tolls are so expensive, it's a money grab. Yes, they pick on something that is a law. Shouldn't speed. And because you speed, you pay your $50 share. But they also realized when they did the pilot program some years ago that it made so much money because it's like, wow, we didn't know we had so much people who go 36 miles an hour. For anyone who's watching who made it to this part, they're not putting these what they originally said was they're going to put these cameras by school zones, right? Cool. No one had a problem with that. There was a couple people, but no one had a problem with that. Cool. All right, let's have these cameras run between 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I was like, okay, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. or 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., something like that, which made sense. I said, yo, you have it in school zones. This is where kids are at, and people should be going slow. Just like you shouldn't drive past a school bus at a certain school buses with the stop sign out, because I think those people should pay, because you're not hitting any of my kids or any of my family, anyone I care about. So I completely agree. Just like there's red lights at cross stops. You should not go through a red light and hit somebody in the crosswalk. Okay, cool. Then what they did next was, okay, cool. Let's now make it run 24/7, 7 days a week. Okay, why is a speed camera running at 2 o'clock in the morning? And they said a statistic. Well, they realized that most of the fatal accidents happen after like 10 p.m. at night. So I said to myself, so you want the speed cameras to stop people with bad behavior at 12 o'clock past at night? That doesn't change the culture of a person. If a person drinks on a weekend, right, and after 10, they don't care about a speed camera. So that's not like they're, oh, I'm blasting, I'm drunk. Oh, there's a speed camera there. Ho, ho, ho. That doesn't deter people from doing it. And then they said, let's start adding the speed cameras, right, outside of school zones. So now the speed cameras are just everywhere, and they're not there to actually enforce the law. It's like having a police officer that says, click, oh, that's a $50 ticket, click. And that's where the money grab comes in, because it's not deterring people from speeding. If you look at the statistics from then on, guess what happens? People still die every year at a very similar rate of fatal accidents. They want a vision zero people to die in traffic deaths. Guess what happens? People die because they put a lot of the blame on the people driving behind the vehicle. I get it. We're driving in 2-ton vehicles. But also we have a culture in New York City where we don't respect the traffic laws. Bicyclists, as a bicyclist, do not respect traffic laws. Do I respect it? No. Is there really an enforcement? No. That's why. Same thing for pedestrians. No one needs to get hit by a car and die. No one is saying that. But you have people who jaywalk. You can get a ticket for jaywalking. They don't enforce it. Because at the end of the day, when a person jaywalks, you're supposed to give them the right of the way. Okay, cool. I stopped. I gave them the right of way. Guess what happens? It's 2 lanes going this way. He walks in front of the bus comes to stop. Here comes me in an E63 going 25 miles an hour in the right lane. I don't see that dude walking in front of the bus jaywalking. He pops out. Guess what? Clap by my goddamn E63 over the hood. Hit his face in the dash. He dead. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that, huh? Now I got to go to court, deal with the death of somebody because they don't respect the laws? I think there should be more enforcement, more freaking enforcement on pedestrians and bicyclists, period. At the end of the day, you could put so much control in the hands of the driver. The driver could do the best way they can possible, right? But the fact of the matter that doesn't change is the culture of New York City. We don't have the proper culture of protecting the driver and the pedestrians and the cyclists. We're putting all the control behind the drivers. We're not changing the culture. So people like him will sit there and say, hey, yeah, I feel like I'm doing so good because I'm making people pay their fair share because of speed cameras. Fix the problem. Why is there a black market for hiding speed cameras? Why is it happening? Why is there so much of a culture of like, let's slow these people down? They messed up. And at the end of the day, the only way I think that they can necessarily fix it is, number one, you can't raise the speeds up. It's already 25. I don't think this is a place that needs to be 40, 50 miles an hour. There's certain expressways and boulevards, I believe you should be able to go 35, 40, 50 miles an hour, which is completely safe. But it's New York City. They can govern how they want to. What I think the honest way to fix this situation is you can't. They're not going to get rid of the cameras. And people are going to look for a black market so they don't have to pay for these speeding tickets because they don't want to go 34 miles an hour at 2 o'clock in the morning. They want to go 36. They want to go 40 miles an hour. There's no police officers. There's no more enforcement out there for this stuff. There really isn't because the cameras replaced it. So they don't want to go that. There's no one on the road. Why am I going 25 miles an hour and it's empty out here? It's a boulevard. It's a parkway. Screw you, you bastard. That's literally what's going on. I think the best way to mitigate the whole problem where they could stop trying to throw statistics is change the culture and ticket the people jaywalking because they used to do that. Ticket the people, the bicyclists that are not following traffic rules. As a driver, I see bicyclists go right through a busy intersection. I'm talking about a busy intersection as a driver and I have to slam on my brakes in my work truck and in my personal car. And as a bicyclist, yes, do I also understand that these rules technically should exist to me? Yes. But at the end of the day, if no one's enforcing it, guess who's the people that can abuse it? Pedestrians and cyclists. We can disrespect your laws every day, all day because they are protecting our lives, not the driver's lives. All right? So outside that, guys, you have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. This was your boy Boost just freaking ranting. Because, Eric Adams, you need to get this shit together. Change the culture. I ain't mad if you start ticketing grandma because she jaywalking. Ticket her because you're trying to protect her. If I drive in my car without my seatbelt, I get ticketed because y'all guys don't want me to go through the windshield. Right? If I wanted to die today, I wanted to die today, but you gave me a ticket for it. So give her a ticket for jaywalking on a busy boulevard. She might trip and fall under a bus, period. And the bicyclists, the same thing for them. They want to ride up one way, they want to cut across busy boulevards and not give a screw or F. Give them a ticket. They have to respect the rules too, period. They got wills, right? Outside that, guys, you have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. I really appreciate it. Thank you for tapping with your boy Boost. Hopefully, I earned your like button. Hopefully, I earned your comment below. Much love, and I appreciate you. And also, fair use to Vice. I'm not trying to deal with no strikes. Plenty of people doing it, and I'm going to cite you guys, so don't do it to me. Don't do it to me, all right? You can add me at boostinmotion.g, Facebook. Also, send me email at boostinmotion@gmail.com. Otherwise than that, guys, I appreciate it. You guys have a good day. Thank you.